Hi, and welcome to the third part of our series on how to use the group module. Today, we'll be going over a bug report in the group module regarding access to revisions, and we'll be fixing that with the new API. So to quickly show you what I'm talking about, we have this issue right now that says that people cannot access the revisions when they add stuff to a group. Now, in group 1, it was the case that when you wanted to add something to a group, as soon as you did, then any access check on that entity would return false if group did not know how to handle it. So it would basically deny access. This was a safety precaution. Over the course of the years while developing group, people have brought it to my attention that this may lead to some very unpleasant behavior. When they create a module that introduces new checks on an entity, such as, you have revisions, but you could have web form running custom entity operations, you could have any module, group will not know about them. So the fact that we deny access if we don't know about something is kind of, a pain in the ass. So what we're going to do instead, starting from group 2 and 3 onwards, is we're going to be trying to figure out whether we actually support an operation, and if we don't know that we support it, we're just not going to care. So we're going to return neutral access, saying, whatever module came up with this access check, they still are in full control whether or not access will be granted. However, as soon as you do inform group about this new entity operation, then group will still forbid access if something is grouped and you do not have group access to it. So what does that look like? Let's quickly switch to PHP Storm and look at the access control right here, which is the new handler system. I'll put a link to a video of the new handler system in the description, and I really recommend you check that out first before you continue watching this video, or before you try your hand at writing your own code as explained in this video. It will make things significantly more clear. But now that we are here, let's look at this handler, and there is one thing that is called, one method that is called supports operation. And essentially, this is where group figures out whether it knows what to do with a certain entity operation. So it's going to call the permission provider, which is another handler, and it's simply going to say, hey, do you have a permission name for this operation on this entity? If you do, then I know we support it. If you don't, then we do not support it. So if we go to that permission provider, we have this get permission method, and you can see that an entity operation will be handed to it, the target and the scope. You'll figure out what those mean when you watch that other video. And then you can see that right now group supports view, update, delete, create for the relationship, which is the entity that sits between the group and the entity that you wanted to group. And for the actual entity, we support view, view unpublished, update, delete, and create. That's where they actually support it. But if you go into, for instance, the view unpublished permission, then you'll see that it still checks whether or not the entity type actually supports publishing. And then if it doesn't, it returns false. So if you are trying to declare this handler for an entity type that does not support publishing, for instance, then you're still fine. It will not tell group that it knows about viewing unpublished entities. Okay, moving on. Let's quickly check our notes again. So I've just explained the difference between version 1 and version 2 and 3, where version 1 would, be very strict, and version 2 and 3 give you more of a chance to actually allow it to be strict. And the reason I'm telling you again is because this whole issue is still open, and we'll be fixing this during this video. But the answer basically was, now that we have the new API, we can fix this. Because in the old API, it was really hard to fix. Reason being, group does not know about all of the possible entity operations in core and contrib. If a new one is introduced, in the old system, you would immediately get an access forbidden. In the new system, you have an opportunity to actually declare it through the handler system. So that is why we can only fix this easily for group 2 and 3. So we're going to be doing that right now. Going back to my notes, let's first figure out how to support a new entity operation. For that, we're going to be going to the group type that I've set up for this scenario. And the group type that I have set up is called author playground, where if you look at what you can do, we have two roles, one for people who aren't part of the group but are an authenticated user, one for people who are part. They can both view the group, they can join the group if they're not a member, leave the group if they are, and they can, when they are a member, they can access the node overview, and they can create, update, and delete basic pages. So if we go back to our groups, I already have one set up where I am a member. So let's go there, and you'll see that we can access that overview as promised, and let's add a basic page. So now if we add a basic page and I call it my basic page, and I just save that, you'll notice that we have some options here which are actually handled by group, but we also have revisions, and we did not see revisions in the permission overview. So if I click that, I actually have access to it, because this is the difference where group just says, hey, I don't know anything about revisions, I'm going to give you access. So how do we figure out what those entity operations are? Well, you could look into the code base of core or contrib for whatever entity operation you're seeking, or what you can also do is you can actually use xdebug. So I'm going to be turning that on real quick, and then I'll turn that back off because it significantly slows down when I'm recording. So we've got xdebug. So what I'm going to do is, I know that people are going to, or a group is going to check whether the operation is supported, and it's going to be calling this get permission with the operation. So I'm turning on xdebug. I'm just simply refreshing this page. And oh yeah, it's cached now. Damn it, it wasn't before. Let's try here. Okay, so we've got view all revisions. So that is an operation that we want to keep in mind. And then we're gonna get some more view, etc. So I'm just going to skip this. But view all revisions, that's an interesting one. So that one I did not declare to group yet. So now we know what we need to do. Let's open up the terminal again and turn xdebug off, just so that everything else goes a bit quicker. So we know that it was view all revisions. Let's take note of that. So let's go to our browser, and just so that we don't forget, it's view all revisions. There we go. So now we want to declare this entity operation to group. Now I could be doing this from the basic permission provider, the default one. Now the downside is that if I do that, then this is going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and try to support everything core has, but in the end it's going to be a huge class, and we want to avoid that. Here we actually have a very topical case where we are dealing with revisions. So let's actually add another handler simply to support revisions. So if we look at the group services file, then you'll see that we have a bunch of default handlers, and some of them we were already looking at, like the permission provider and the access control. And then we have some specific ones for the plugins that group ships with, such as group membership. Now we're going to be adding, again, this is a reference to that session that will be linked. We're going to be adding another decorator for the default handler, because we want to support revisions for all of the plugins, not just a specific one. I've told people before who were trying to figure out how to use the handler system to look at the tests that are in group, because they give you a clear example of how to do certain things. So let's actually do that. Let's look at the tests and see how we actually alter one of these services, so to speak, by providing a decorator so that we can add our own things. So this is part of that video. I'm not going to go into detail, but essentially we declare a service with any name. This doesn't have to follow a pattern because we're going to be using this as a decorator. We're going to point to a class. We're going to say what it decorates. So in this case, this is already good because we actually want to decorate the permission provider. We're going to give it a priority, and we're going to, give it itself, so to speak, the thing that we are going to be decorating. We're going to give that as the only argument so that we receive that as sort of the parent. Starting with newer versions, you should be able to just write @inner. So I will be trying that, which might be a really bad idea, but let's try that anyways. So I'll just be copying this, and I'll go to group, and we've already got the default handlers. We've got a specific handler. So what we're now going to do is we're going to create a new section called decorating handlers, or actually group. Let's keep in line with what we already have. And now here we're going to say group relation handler decorator, permission provider, sure. And then we're just going to say revision support. And we're going to put that in the group module. So it's going to be under group plugin group relation handler, but I would like to create a new folder here because we already have the relation handlers that are specific to our plugins. We have the relation handler defaults that ship with the group module that everyone gets. So maybe we want to have something like relation handler alter. This might still change before the patch actually lands, but let's just call it relation handler alter. And let's call this revision support provision provider. There we go. It decorates the permission provider. Yeah, sure. Let's just give it 50. I don't know. I don't care really. And let's try that @inner. There we go. So @inner. Let's try that. Maybe it don't work. It should actually work because I'm on Drupal 10 right now, and that should have a recent version of Symfony where this works. So there we go. I don't like spaces here, so I'm going to remove them. I don't know why PHP Storm keeps adding them. Okay, so now we actually need to create that class. And again, as I said, we can just go to the tests and copy one of these, because these are your examples. When I'm running tests, I'm running code that I want you to run, so that I know that when my tests go green, your code probably is cool too. So let's do that. I've copied that. Let's go here and let's create a new folder called relation handler alter. And let's create a file in there. And if we look again, it's going to be called revision support provision provider. Wow, try saying that 10 times. Revision supports permission provider.php. There we go, and cancel. So I've gone ahead and pasted all of the code in here and made some changes already so that I didn't have to do that live. But as you can see, it's still pretty much the same structure. We have our class name, we use the same trait, we inject the parent, but then instead of changing the admin permission to attach a small string to the end of it, we had to make a few changes, and I'll quickly go over them now. So first we have this get permission method that we previously saw. And here I'm saying, if the target is an entity, so that would be the actual node, not the relationship, any code asks for the entity operation view all revisions, then we're going to give the name of a group permission that matches that. As soon as we do this, group will determine access over that entity operation because now it is known to the system. If we aren't dealing with an entity and that operation, then we are simply yielding to the whole chain that came before us, in this case the parents, and asking them whether they know what to do with the operation target and scope. Then we have build permissions, and this is a simplified version. This basically says, build all of the permissions in the parent and return them. If this handler has the view all revisions permission, then we're going to build that. And building means that we have a label, that we have basically things that we can show in the UI. This view all revisions permission is a protected function at the bottom right here, and basically it just says view all and then the name of the plugin entity revisions. The fact that the plugin ID is in there is important, because if we simply named it view all entity revisions, then it would apply the same string to all plugins. But because we're dealing with plugin handlers here, we want it to be individual, so that we don't have this view all entity revisions that applies to group membership, group node for article, group node for basic page, etc. No, we want them to be individually specified. We also check whether the plugin defines entity permissions, meaning that if there is a plugin like group membership that doesn't really care about the entity it's grouping, in case of group membership it's the user entity, then obviously we aren't going to create these permissions and support those operations, because we just don't care. We want group to return neutral in that scenario. So now that we have this set up, there is one more thing that we should ideally do, as I have mentioned earlier. It's that we should check for the interface, whether the entity actually, or the entity type, supports revisions. I will do that for the final patch. I'm not going to do that now. But if we check in the permission overview and refresh this, then now we should start seeing, as soon as it loads, we should start seeing those revision permissions. So let's quickly check. So now here we go, view any entity revisions. And if I go back to my page and I view this, then the revisions tab should vanish because we haven't assigned that permission, but group now actually cares about it, and it's gone. If I now assign view any entity revisions and I save this and I refresh this page, it shows up again. So that is the power of the new API in group 2 and 3. If there is an entity operation that we do not know about, group will not get in your way. It will not determine access. But if there is any code that at any point says, hey group, you need to be aware of this entity operation, then from that point on, group will care. And if there is an entity where group determines access and it's grouped, then you need to have the right permissions that we expose to group to be able to perform the operations that you want to perform. So if we go back to the code real quick and you check, what did we do? We wrote one class, which basically decorates the parent and only cares about our thing. That's all we did. And we declared that as a service right here as a decorator. The only thing that I wish would have worked was that it would have worked as @inner, which it really should have, but it didn't. I'll investigate that. Just keep an eye on it. As soon as you start seeing this in groups tests, because I said earlier, always look at the tests for example. So as soon as you start seeing that show up in here, then you know it's supported. Right now, apparently I couldn't get it to work for the demo. But the workaround, so to speak, it's not really even a workaround. The alternative way to do it is just by copying whatever you name this. And again, you have full freedom here. Just putting that in here and then appending @inner. That's all you need to do. So yeah, now imagine if you were to put this into a separate module, you can see how small these modules can get for the new group API. You would have simply an info.yaml file, a service file, and one class. If you want to change the access, so there's again, this is explained in the video, but there are a bunch of default handlers for access control, how to provide operations, and how to control the entity reference field that ties that special entity in between a group and the actual entity. Post-install tasks, text to show up in the UI. If you want to control any of that, it is now really simple to do that with a very, very, very tiny module. I hope this was interesting. I'm going to leave you here. Keep an eye out for dispatch. We just wrote the code live, well, almost live. So this should be making it into group anytime soon. And then yeah, check the code. Maybe something new came up. Maybe something changed, like in here where we check for that interface, but it should look pretty much like what we just discussed. All right, I'll leave you here. See you later. Bye-bye.